We've been making documentaries for 10 years now, and as documentary filmmakers, we're always looking for good stories to tell. Alright, so our work takes us outside a lot. We do there's a lot of recreational activities in this area, and so we're out there shooting it. One case in particular was mountain biking.
Yeah, so we got Ole Mingo, our director of photography, to go out with a camera and catch some guys riding up in the trails.
And came back with this stellar footage. I mean, we were just blown away.
Yeah.
So I got invited to go out and film with some local freeriders. With one catch. I had to keep the locations a secret.
We found out that all these trails were not only secret, they were illegal. There's this whole underground sect of bike riders. Secret trailheads, camouflage so nobody would spot them. It's hard not to be interested in that.
We knew there was a documentary there.
And we're back, Coho 101.1. Thanks for being here on the morning show. I'm Clint Strand. Who owns the forests? The governments that take care of them or the people that love them? It's a complicated issue. And Isaac, tell us a little bit more about the story.
Clint, as you know, this is an issue we've been dealing with here in the Upper Valley for some time. The bikers are trying to work out what access they have to the forest and what rights they have to build the jumps out there in the woods. The issue here, though, is that these are public lands. The mountain bikers do not own the trails that they're building on, and the Forest Service is concerned that they may be liable should someone get injured.
Everybody knows how good it feels with the breeze in your hair when you're a kid riding your bike down the sidewalk hitting curbs. A good trail isn't just a path down the mountainside. That's a road. When I drop in and I'm actually riding, it's almost like the perfect uninterrupted run where you have that conversation with nature from top to bottom. There's no alternative, really. I'm not going to stop riding.
Yeah, I can totally see this from both sides. I can see it from people who want to be out there enjoying nature, riding their bicycles, and I can see it from the Forest Service side too, that we have to have some control over this. We can't just go out and build a trail wherever we want.
You know, our recent story on mountain biking and the Forest Service has generated quite a bit of response. The mountain biking community is all fired up. Of course, everyone's upset that the popular trail Ribbed was torn out last week. And now it looks like the Forest Service is actually interested
building
in
a trail without doing the appropriate analysis with wildlife and botany and archaeology is breaking the law.
All roads lead me away.
Where is your perfect dream trail and what's that setting? And then imagine coming up there one morning and seeing every tree cut to the ground because somebody thought they needed the view better. A trail building is no different. The slogan of the Forest Service is caring for the land and serving people. And it's an interesting balance to work for this agency because there are as many people as there are interests and advocates out there. Resources aren't unlimited.
The Forest Service job is to manage the forests for highest and best use. A lot of these designations and restrictions were created long before mountain bikes were even thought of. In the Forest Service type of organization, that's not something that can easily be changed. Sometimes that's where the conflict comes. Now that mountain bikes have become such a big thing, thankfully they're getting sort of thought about again and taken another look at.
What really we need is a good trail system, so you have something that's really for every trail user.
If we do have a bias, it's for cooperation and working together to sustain our forests.
Our plan is to take out the cameras, tour the Northwest, and find those success stories.
They were all renegades, honestly, to start with, and because they were all building illegal trail on the forest.
Hey, we had all this ego around it, and people were like, "Oh, we're tax-paying citizens. We demand this," and that's just not the attitude that you need to take with Forest Service.
And I suppose at some point we talked enough, and maybe I convinced them that it was important enough, and if we work together on that stuff, then we certainly have a better chance of success now and in the future. So
we kind of met in the middle, and now we got what we got.
I think this is easily like the coolest, legitimate, free terrain that I've seen. Like, I mean, free ride, dirt jump, but it's also free. It doesn't cost anything to be out here. It's on public land. Public's using it. It's wild.
When we get together and talk, we realize we're on the same side. You know, we really value this place as our backyard as well as your backyard. And it's not just for this decade or the next decade, but it's for perpetuity.
You know, with this story, mountain bikers want access to the land. They want to be out there riding. They love being out there. The Forest Service wants to protect the land for the people. That's their mission. It's interesting that these two sides want the same things in a lot of ways, but they butt heads.
This problem's not going to go away. I mean, we have a finite amount of land, and we have growing populations, and there's always going to be increasing pressure on that.
The conflict's important because that's how you get to the solutions. Documentary films communicate in a powerful way. Our goal in making these types of films is always the same. I mean, we hope to get people involved, to raise the questions in their minds, get them thinking about something they might not have been thinking about before. Pedal Driven has all the ingredients we need. This opens up this topic to a much broader range of people. People who might not otherwise care about land stewardship or sustainability. You know, in the best case scenario, they get involved in the solution. You know, that's the highest calling for a documentary film. If we can actually help foster change.